Morning, folks. This is Darryl Bolke with Hardwired Tactical Shooting. I wanted to kind of do a quick video here for you for the attendees of Thunderstick Summit 2023. I want to go over the schedule and sort of what to expect for you and lay out some classes and give the students coming to this event an idea of what to expect while you're there. Should help to alleviate any issues on the morning of the event and while you're there. So I'm going to give you a guideline to basically how this event is going to run. So we're going to be running 3 ranges. You'll be able to move around from range to range for different classes. Day 1 of the event, 8 a.m. to 9 o'clock, Cody Stewart from Vang Comp and I will be doing a whole sort of an admin thing. It'll be a safety brief, get some paperwork filled out, all of that. During the course of that, you're going to sign up for what classes you want, and it will give us an idea. We got to limit ourselves with the amount of students to be able to run 2 lines at every range, and obviously we can't have too many people show up at one or the other. So there'll be about 20 places to sign up for each class. It's why I want to give you this kind of briefing of what the classes are, so it gets you into kind of the classes that will best serve you, not necessarily hopefully what you want, but hopefully what you need. So day 1 will take care of all the admin stuff first hour. At 9 o'clock, Mark Fricke and Eric Gelhaus will take over the entire gathering and are going to do a class from 0900 to noon on getting your guns zeroed and patterned and basic handling of loading, unloading. So everybody's at least starting fresh, that you know where your shotgun shoots, you know how it patterns various loads. We're going to use buckshot loads at various distances and some slugs, so that you have a really good idea where your gun hits to. And with the sighting system you're using, hopefully we'll be able to work some bugs out. Any of the problem children guns that we may have, we should have folks on site who can either help get the gun set up properly, fix it if something's wrong, or get you set up on a loaner gun. And we want to get all of that done the first morning. They'll also cover some of the most basic loading, unloading to at least get you on a line somewhere that you're functional. Obviously, some of you are going to have a whole ton of shotgun experience. It'll simply be review. For others, this is going to be your first time you get, you're going to start putting your toe in the pool. We want to orient you a little, get all the basics covered first. All of the other instructors are going to help get that patterning done, and it'll probably take us doing that on 3 different ranges to get everybody patterned, set up, and done. So while Mark Fricke and Eric Gelhaus are going to sort of lead that block of instruction, all of the other instructors will be there to help. Going into the first class after lunch at day 1, which will be from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Obviously it'll be about 2:45, so we can get you moved to another range. I'm going to do a class on Feed the Pig. What Feed the Pig is going to cover is allow you to try a bunch of different loading methodologies on the shotgun. Whether that's coming off of side saddles, out of a bag, ammo belt, off the back of the gun somewhere, we're going to let you learn how to get that gun fed with ammunition throughout the course of the event. You can bring live ammunition, which I would suggest using some live. You can also do a lot of this with dummy rounds. I suggest everybody bring 5 to 10 dummy rounds with you to be able to work some of these drills with dummies. That will cut down on how much live ammo you use. But this can be done kind of with both. The Hots, Rob and Matt, I believe Rob just had surgery, so Matt's going to be probably doing most of the demo work, but Rob will be there instructing. Is going to be an introduction to push-pull, which is their methodology of control and recoil, functioning the gun using some methods that may not be very traditional, but work real well to control the shotgun and take a lot of the hurt out of it. Eric Gelhaus will be doing West Coast fundamentals. Eric and I teach a lot alike on this. We both kind of had our tickets punched by Bill Jeans. Both of us spent a lot of time either at a gun sight-based, modern technique-based area. So it's kind of the style of shotgun that we teach. Eric's going to do a basic intro. This is going to be a lot of probably running the gun out of a low ready and various ready positions, and kind of getting the gun up and functioning as is traditionally taught West Coast gun sight modern technique based instruction. And so those will be the 3 classes you'll have to choose from on day 1. Now keep in mind, we're going to do these classes again. So if one of those better fits what you're looking for, like if you don't have a lot of experience with how to get your gun loaded, probably want to take my class. If you are kind of just new to the whole thing, Eric's would be a very good fit here. If you've done a little bit of shooting and want to improve how you're running the gun, obviously take the class with the HOTS. The next class will be from 3 o'clock to about 5 o'clock. That block of classes, there's going to be 3. You're going to sign up for 1. And if you want to sit any of these out, it's your dime. None of these are mandatory. So if you want to just show up and watch, that's fine. Or if you want to move to the 3 ranges and just absorb what the instructors are teaching, and you don't necessarily have to fire every single round of live fire on this. This is sort of a buffet line. And if you want to start slow, that's okay too. Greg Ellifritz is going to be teaching a close quarter shotgun operation class, and that one's going to be and weapon retention on the shotgun for working it in close quarters. That's all going to be done dry. There's going to be no live fire in there. If this is your first foray into this, that would be a good class that you're interested in that. But it's something you don't really want to learn live. This is a good way to do that because you're going to be doing all the drills dry. Steve Fisher's going to be doing some positional shooting, which will be moving into various sitting, kneeling positions, prone, back up into standing, and just kind of get you used to moving and shooting the 12 gauge from something other than an upright standing position. Mark Fricke is going to do a class on basic tactical handling. That's going to be the basics of getting the gun loaded, running the gun. It'll be kind of a bit like Eric's class on the first block. So again, if you need some level of the basics, excellent class to be taken day 1 to really get that anchored. Mark has been doing this an awful long time. He is the old man of the group, and you are going to be getting some very first generational stuff with a lot of instructional years behind it, and particularly teaching people who are not super, it's not going to be the flaming helicopter stuff. It's going to be some exceptional fundamentals from Mark, and that's what most people need, especially early on in the event. That'll be the end of day 1. So day 1, most of the morning is going to be taken up with admin, patterning, whatever, and you should get 2 classes in the afternoon. Opening up day 2 will be the exact same thing we started the afternoon with on day 1. So it'll be me doing Feed the Pig. Rob and Matt Hott will be doing push-pull. And on that one, we're going to switch Gelhaus and Fricke. So Mark Fricke will be doing basic tactical gun handling, morning of day 2. In the afternoon, that'll be from 0800 to 1000. From 10 to noon, you're going to have Greg Ellifritz doing close quarters, work with a shotgun. Steve Fisher will be doing positional shooting again, and Gelhaus will be doing the West Coast shotgun. So again, these are all kind of core classes, and you should be able to fit in to get all of them in at some point in the first day and a half there. Going into the afternoon after lunch on day 2, which is Saturday, I'm going to be teaching non-dynamic movement. I teach a methodology of moving with a shotgun that I apply a lot to. I taught a lot to basic patrol cops and armed citizens. It's spent 17 years assigned to training a SWAT team. I can teach all that. This is what I really kind of the core stuff I like to teach for most people on how to be moving with a shotgun. If you are not an advanced shooter, if you do not have tons of shotgun experience, if you are kind of new to the system, not used to it, and you want to learn how to shoot and move, this is the class for you. The backside of that is Steve Fisher will be teaching dynamic movement with a shotgun. So Steve is going to be teaching for more of the advanced students or people who have a bunch of experience doing this, how to run the gun while moving at a faster pace or shooting while moving. So mine is going to be a lot of moving and shooting or shooting and moving, and Steve's will be a shooting while moving or a lot more dynamic movement on the range that is set up better for people who are much more experienced at this or who are carrying a shotgun professionally. Let's see, the last one in that block is Greg Elifritz and the Hots together. We're going to be teaching retention push-pull with live ammunition. So the first one was done on the retention shooting as dry. They're going to introduce live ammo to this to be able to use the push-pull with shooting from extreme close quarters. That's going to be from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock are those three classes. Let's see. From 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock, you're going to have Elifritz and the Hots are going to be redoing that class. So if you don't get it on the first block, you can get it on the second one. Mark Fricky is going to be teaching. Now, Mark's left-handed, but he is exceptional at teaching both. Mark is going to be teaching a support side and injured shooter block. So you may have to pick up and run your shotgun from a hand that's not your primary hand, running them around barricades, things like that, whether you're injured or just need to run the shotgun on the offside. Mark will be doing an entire block on the techniques you need to do. Now, most people will find that, well, I don't think I'd ever do that. Well, Ed Morales and the Miami shootout, these became very critical skills. When you're fighting with firearms in close quarters, which is like inside your house, around cars, things like that, injuries are a real thing. And trying to learn some new technique on how to shoot your gun while injured, the time to learn it is not when it happens. The time to anchor these techniques and how you would have to run your gun with your physicality, your skill set, your background, your experience. This is the time to learn that. So this should be an exceptionally good class from Mark. From 1700 to 1900, so from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, Eric Gelhaus and Steve Fisher are going to teach low light on the shotgun. This is, again, going to be more of an advanced class. So if you're not one of the more advanced shooters or don't have a whole lot of experience, getting out on range at night in low light and shooting is a bit more or out of the, for most people, going to be something you want to probably wait on this till you build up more experience, and those other classes are going to be a better fit for you. Some folks will be quite capable of doing this right out of the gate. So, and we also have, it'll come up here in a minute, we have a solution for those of you who are not more advanced shooters, who are kind of new to this, but want some low light experience. We'll get that in here in a minute. Okay, day 3, Sunday. 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, Fricky and Gelhaus are going to do the injured support side shooting again. Again, Eric is also left-handed. The guys, these lefties, as much as I give them a bad time, most of them have been forced to teach a lot of right-handed stuff over the course of their careers, teaching law enforcement. So they're real good at actually teaching both, but they really have those skills anchored for how to teach most people to shoot on their offside, whether they're injured or support side shooting. So we'll be offering that one again on a repeat on, if you don't get it on the first go round, here's the chance to get it the next one on Sunday morning from 8 to 10-ish. Steve Fisher is going to be doing dynamic movement again, and I will be doing the non-dynamic movement again. That's going to be again Sunday morning. So if you miss them on the previous day or had something else that fits better, you'll be able to get it on the second go round. From 10 o'clock to noon, Hot and Elifritz are going to be repeating the CQB retention shooting, or going to be working more on those kind of techniques. These are really good for working indoor stuff, and a lot of people, when it's particularly home defense shotgun, these are skills that you need, because you're going to be trying to work these guns in through doorways, hallways, bedrooms, things like that, and it's an opportunity with some serious experts and guys with a lot of time invested in not only doing this for real, but teaching it to get you squared away on how to use these techniques when you're running the gun inside of an indoor or close quarter environment. We have a really interesting class coming up at 10, noon to 12 on that day as well. Mark Fricke is going to do a less lethal class. I would highly suggest, if you are an armed citizen, take the opportunity to take this class. Coming from a law enforcement background, coming from a background of training SWAT teams, things like that, I have a lot of experience taking classes in less lethal munitions. Most of the law enforcement folks will have that background and experience of they get to do that on a fairly regular basis. Armed citizens don't. You don't really ever get an opportunity to take true less lethal, to be able to shoot less lethal munitions through your shotgun. Mark has been working with one of the companies out there to be able to start providing these ammunition, these less lethal options to citizens. And this is an opportunity to take a class with an expert on solid instruction at how to deploy these loads. Now, for a lot of people, if you look at the civil disturbances we've had, urban rioting, things like that, these are going to become a very viable thing, especially in any urban area where you're in an adversarial relationship just using any sort of self-defense anyways. These can provide some very good options for people to remove, without using lethal force, to have some options with some standoff distance at using less lethal options. So I highly recommend that people take the opportunity to take this class, particularly if you are not in law enforcement and don't have access to how to use these munitions. And then the end of that is Fisher and Gelhaus are going to do a low light fundamentals class. Now, obviously, this is going to be from 10 in the morning till noon. You're not going to be shooting in the dark. They will teach you the techniques you need to use to be able to run the gun in low light situations. So it'll be in a less stressful environment to be able to have the fundamentals of what we need to do with lighting systems and the guns for positive ID and for searching for danger using your shotgun. Then we're going to have lunch on Sunday. After lunch, from about 1 to 3, we're going to have a bunch of vendors out there doing demos. Mossberg is heavily involved in this. We'll be out there with guns to shoot, lectures providing information. So it will give you an opportunity to talk to some of the vendors and sponsors of the event, give you an opportunity to shoot some guns from some of these folks and some of their equipment they're going to be bringing out, and kind of a lot of options for you to kind of take in some more stuff that's outside the box of actually taking a class. I believe they may be running a little bit of some type of a competition out there as well with Mossberg, which will give you a chance to shoot some on the clock a little bit. So this will be, especially after you've been shooting for a couple of days, be a good time to do that. One of the things we've done at the past shotgun classes that's been really popular with students is from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock on the last day, we do a round table with the instructors. And what we'll do is we will go around and cover some topics of what are our ammunition choices, what kind of equipment do we run on our guns. Now, you'll see a lot of our guns set up, but giving you kind of the why and the context behind why we do what we do. You're going to find all of us do stuff a little bit differently. The difference is between most of the social media, YouTuber instruction that's out there, you're going to have an opportunity to see professionals who carry these guns professionally, use them professionally. On the thought process we go through to how do we set up our guns. In the past, we've covered some of the historical stuff. So we get into a little bit of just a discussion with all the instructors that a ton of learning goes on, because you'll be able to take bits and pieces from everybody. Like, hey, I was thinking about running this kind of sling because so-and-so does it on the internet. And you might find that doesn't apply to you, that, hey, so-and-so, is also a high-level instructor, runs their slings this way for this reason, and that better fits my life than the way the other person does. So, and you'll have some opportunities for some questions and interaction with the instructors as we kind of go through and how we like to set a shotgun up and how we do train with them, that type of thing. So that's been one of the more positive things that we've come out of other classes that a lot of students got a ton out of, that we've incorporated it into this event as well. Hopefully we'll be able to come up with some sort of certificates that you've attended the event so that you can document the training and get all that done the last day, and then we'll close out the event for the weekend. So start thinking, going through this, take some notes, start thinking about kind of where you want to be and what classes you want to sign up for. Friday morning when you're there early, we officially start at 8. If you got there a little earlier, that'd be great too. Get all this stuff filled out, get your place in the classes you want to take. At some point, some of these classes may fill up. We're trying to do this on the first big one of these events, on kind of doing this on a low-key basis where we're not having a lot of pre-sign-ups and internet and emails and setting spreadsheets up, which we're having to go to for like Revolver Roundup. We think we're at a place we can get everybody into the classes they want. If not, we may approach you and say, hey, would you mind, we're full on this class. You may want to take this one. Or we may have students who probably are a better fit for a class you're signed up in, and may ask you, hey, can you maybe move to this one where we think it's a better fit for you? We'd just like you to be open to that so everybody gets the most out of this. I want to make sure that our newer or less experienced shooters are getting the classes they need, and we want to kind of make sure that those folks aren't in the higher level classes so that the people with a bunch of experience can kind of get the most out of it there. So we may do a little bit of fitting on this. Don't take a thing personally. We're just trying to make the event great for everybody. So that's all I got. Looking forward to seeing everybody up in Vegas. Excited about partnering up with Vang Comp on this, and hopefully this is going to be a annual mecca of getting out to Vegas and shooting my favorite platform of long guns. So we look forward to seeing you, everybody. Have a great time, and we'll see you in, I believe it's a week from Friday. So, out.